March. I can't believe it's the last month of this quarter. I can't even believe it. Anyway, let's just get into it. I have my March set up, sort of, but I feel like it's always kind of sort of, so that's fine. So it's just the standard March setup. Nice. All right, so first of all, this is not a pencil case, but I like that it's long because it fits my Tombow markers in here, and it's from Ipsy when I used to subscribe back in the day. And I don't know if it's just me or if it's just all at one point fat kids in general, but I still get really weird and nervous about having things that have food on them because I feel like everyone's judging me as a fat kid. Like when I was in school, I would have never thought to carry this because every bully in a 10-mile radius would have like attacked me. You know what I mean? And so I still feel awkward about this, but I love the case because it's a good thick quality with a great zipper and it's clear so I can kind of see everything that's in here because I don't over like stuff it. I can just like spread it out like that and see everything. I don't know. How do you guys feel about that stuff? Do you ever like think, oh my God, I can't wear that shirt because they're going to think I'm a fat person? Oh, whatever. Children can be so cruel. All right, so I have a little bit of catching up to do. For those of you who have not been following my channel, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, thanks so much for sticking around. This is a wide traveler's notebook by Chic Sparrow, and it's in the color wine. I couldn't finish February out in my other traveler's notebook, so I decided instead of starting halfway through the month in this guy, I would move into here for a little bit. And I really, really enjoyed having everything all in one place. It was pretty awesome, but it didn't last for very long before I was like, yeah, I probably need 2 notebooks because I'm weird. Anyway, but this is my new dashboard and I showed this on Instagram. So if you're not following me yet, you know, you should definitely do that. And I always check, as long as you don't have a private account, I always check to see if the people who are following me are also doing planning stuff. And then I usually, you know, add you because I'm trying to learn as well. But this is my new dashboard. I had mentioned this and shown this in another video, and I just kind of flipped it around and remade it, and I'm loving it. I'm loving this dashboard. Then I moved to the back, and the reason why I didn't stick with this, even though I thought it was pretty cool, is because there's not enough note pages in the back here. So you get into addresses and like project pages and a couple of other things that, you know, nobody really needs in life that you can Google. And so I couldn't stay in this for the whole year of note pages because I was trying to have all of my planner in one place. And this turned out pretty great. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And then I did some dailies right here. And I used, I don't know, this Signo pen that I also showed in like a little bit of a haul. And it's the silver one because there's a noble metal and then it says silver because there's a couple of different like metallic silver or whatever you call them Signo pens out there. All right, and I just did the numbers here on the side. I really like the way this turned out because as a lazy planner, all I had to do was take a piece of washi tape and stick it onto the page and put a number and I was like done. This was pre-done though, and that became kind of a headache for me. Wednesday tended to be heavier for this week for some reason, and that's why I wanted it to be matchy and did Wednesday like that. When you have to pre-do pages like this, you really don't leave yourself any space for like growth throughout your day, which is unfortunate. So I kind of, you know, I'm trying to fix that in this planner, hopefully. But I like the black and white. I was really digging black and white, which made me kind of sad because I have like a lot of colorful washi tape and other things. And I thought, man, maybe I'm just a black and white kind of girl. And what am I doing with all this color? And it's spring in, you know, the 21st will be the first day of spring this month. So I'm just like, I think it's so funny that I want to start using black and white when you get all these pastel beautiful colors, which makes me, you know, but I'm right on that level of crazy. So, you know, that's pretty normal for me. The Chic Sparrow Highland Green Outlander leather. Still loving this. It's still very waxy. I've asked a few people about theirs since I've seen and met more people on Instagram, and they're like saying basically the same thing, that theirs is like a little bit waxy. And I'm like, mine is not a little bit waxy. It's a lot. Like, what do you consider a little bit waxy? Because mine is like coated AF. I don't know. And by the way, before I forget, this is the washi tape that I used because a lot of people loved it. And I believe I bought this from Hobby Lobby. It was like in a container of a bunch of different sized washi tapes that had kind of like a theme, and this was one of them in there. And this was actually one of the reasons why I bought it, and I think it was under $10. Yeah, but it has every day of the week on there, and you just rip it out and slap it on the page, which makes me super happy. All right, so if you've been following me on Instagram, I bought a 20 pack of these stencils from Amazon, and they're pretty cool. I've only used a few of them. I've used a little bit of them in here. I will say that some of them are repeats, and this is like number stencil 11. And by repeats, they're not, some of them are the same size, which can be frustrating for some people. And then some of them are not the same size. So it'll be like the same shape, like a hearts, and they'll be different sizes, but like the same pattern, which is nice. So, if you don't have as much real estate, like say you have a passport, they might fit in there nicely. Whereas like the larger ones are going to fit in your A5 size, and maybe you want to take up some real estate because there's a lot of space to cover. So that's really cool. I will definitely link down below a lady on YouTube who had a really great, nice, long, comprehensive, video about these. Everything in here is just kind of, very earth toned. There's green that's pulling from these planner press vellum. I really kind of like the idea of having a planner that you can't tell off the bat is a girl's planner. Like when you open mine, it could be for a guy or a girl, which kind of makes me happy. And I think that's sort of why I like Japanese stationery. It's never bold. It's very just kind of modest, and you can't always really tell, you know, and I like that. I did, however, order a Cocoa Daisy subscription box. I didn't subscribe. I just bought the box for the month of March, which is supposed to be a peacock. So that's why I still have this in here, and I'm thinking about moving all my stuff back into this instead of this, which is supposed to be a little bit wider, and it is because this is supposed to be B6 size. But I thought that this would go better with Cocoa Daisy. And I thought, how is that bold and beautiful Cocoa Daisy going to go with this kind of like modest, earth-toned feel vibe that I have going on here? And the answer is it's probably not. So I'm going to have to like rework that when it comes, because of everything that was happening last month with family. I was not on the ball and I ordered it late. So it's probably not going to get here until like the end of this week. So I will do an update when that happens. Speaking of Cocoa Daisy, this first insert is just in here for funsies because I'm going to be putting in my Cocoa Daisy insert because I bought the B6 kit, which I'm so excited about, and it comes with an insert already. And I never decorate my planning insert. This is just a Life pistachio grid insert, and I'm telling you, this is by far the smoothest and favorite of all time inserts. I'm telling you, if you don't have one of these, you should totally pick them up because oh my gosh. But I've always thought as a writer, the most beautiful thing on the page should be my words, and I still feel that way. So I never put any washi tape or anything into my regular writing on the go planner or writing on the go journal. So I thought, well, since Cocoa Daisy already comes decorated and beautiful, I can just write the words and everything's golden, right? So that's what I plan on doing. And because I couldn't stand having this in here, and I mentioned that this elastic by Chic Sparrow that it came with the notebook is just horrible. Like it has no elasticity, and it's really ripping into my vellum and into my notebooks, into my inserts. So I didn't want to leave this vellum without a notebook inside of it, and I didn't want to not put the vellum in here because I will lose it in my hot mess that I call an office and my life. So yeah, I'm going to take this out and put that in there. when it comes. So the second insert is my planner. And of course, like always, I went ahead and left this empty because I always think that I am going to write down an index, and I never do. But, you know, here's hoping. It's probably not going to happen, but there you go. And then I go straight into my monthly spread, and you've seen this before. The only difference is I added some edging because I thought it made it look a little more finished and neater. Let me see if I do have my other planner here. And so you can see in this one that basically I just went ahead and like boxed it all the way to the edge, and it was fine, and I didn't have any worries. And there's nothing wrong with that. I even added a little washi at the bottom. I just kind of like the idea of having everything boxed off neatly. What do you guys think? I also added some washi to the edges, which took a little bit of time, and as someone who considers themselves a minimalist planner, I think everything here is still very minimalistic, minus the washi tape, so you know, you don't have to add the washi if you don't want to. I did add this little like dashed line because even though this is one column, it has two things in it, so I thought a dash instead of you know, like a straight line would help me see the difference between the two columns within a column, if that makes sense. I am not sure that I'm going to keep YouTube over here. Okay, so I wrote this out before this page happened, and then this happened. And I thought, well, I really don't need this. So this is why. Usually here, what I will put is on the 1st, which is a Thursday, I could say filming, right? But I also do a bunch of other stuff, like maybe I might go ahead and upload, and I might also do like my thumbnail for my YouTube video, and I can't fit all of that on one line, you know what I mean? And so this was supposed to be a place where I could do some forward planning for things. So there's just not enough space, obviously, and I'm like an inch and change here, not even a whole inch and a half. So I don't think YouTube will go here anymore, and I'm perfectly fine with like putting a little sticker up here and then writing over it like something else I've decided to put here. I only do YouTube and Instagram as far as social media. I don't really need to put any other kind of like social media here. If you have any ideas of some other things you think I could be forward planning here, you know, let me know, or maybe what you would put here. And then over here, I changed this. This just says challenges. And I thought it's so hard for me, and I think a lot of people out there, as far as what I can tell from watching people's videos, to stick with one challenge. I think one of like 4 times I was successful in doing Lister's Got a List all the way through, and I was like so proud of myself. It was like the most amazing thing ever. But I just don't really stick with things. So I thought, well, why not try something? So there's this thing called Take 5, the Take 5 art challenge. I should just write it in here. Okay. So I'm gonna put hashtag Take 5 art. I don't even know that's what it's called something like that. And I'm just going to put challenge over to the side because I think it's something like that, so that I know. And I thought I would try this out, but then when I went to talk to the person, like I can't remember her name, I'll flash it on the screen and link her down below, on Instagram about it, she said that it was like in her last post on Instagram, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so I went there, and it was like for February, which today is March, or it's going to be March, and I was like, well, where's all of March? So I was kind of confused by that. I have like, you know, a couple of days to still like figure that out, but I was like, so I don't know that it comes like on a little list. If you've ever been on Instagram where like, Llama's Love Lettering Every Damn Day, she'll have like every single day of the month and the challenge right next to the day. I don't know if it's something like that or not. And I mean, I just saw it a few times and I thought that sounded kind of cool. So I didn't read enough into it, I guess, that I knew what the hell I was talking about. So I still have to research that. But I thought maybe I'll just do that for 1 week. Why do I have to do it for the whole month? The answer is I don't have to. Or maybe I'll just do it this day, and then tomorrow maybe it has nothing to do with planning. Maybe I'm just going to challenge myself to read 100 pages because I can do that. I've done that before. It's been a while, and usually I only challenge myself about 20 pages a day so that I can have time for other things. But maybe that's what I will do for one day, and then the next day it'll be a different challenge altogether. This is all the same, and this is all the same. And then here I decided to do something that is like, I don't know. I have always been like super against doing this, but I'm trying to grow as a planner and a person or whatever. And I decided to go ahead and make myself a tracker, a habit tracker. I know. So here's my struggle with the habit trackers. In the past, if I saw that things were blank, I'd get really discouraged. Sort of the same thing I was talking about with this. If I miss too many days in a row, then I start to avoid and feel bad about it. It's my anxiety, and I just like skip it, and I just, pretend it doesn't exist. So I decided that here, that maybe if I made like columns, and I'm serious, I'm like, you might think this is funny, but I'm like a child when it comes to stuff like this. I might have to get some sticky notes and put them here so my eyeballs and my anxiety disorder only focus on this week, so I don't get overwhelmed and concerned, and just like focus on this little column here and work it out. So I put these lines to see if that would be enough for right now, but I am totally willing to go to the sticky note, challenge if I have to. And so I just put the same thing that's in this column over here so that I don't have to go like this. I can just go like this, which is the same purpose of having the monthly numbers over on both sides, so I don't have to go all the way across. And I did try like highlighting like certain days or every other days, and it just looked like a spreadsheet, and it was crazy and overwhelming for my eyeballs that I was just like, that won't work for me. So I find that putting one column on either side is just easiest, in my opinion, unless you want to break out your ruler and just like, that's just not who I am. So there you go. Right here, I decided to put like my sort of like list for YouTube, and I always list out more things than I actually plan on doing, because some of these things I really don't have, like the tote and the purse, like I don't really have those things ready and prepared yet. So putting them here just means that I can go ahead and pull from whatever like I want to do for the month or something like that. And I had a place for that, like in my, I don't know if I had one in here or not. Let me show you. So it looked like this sort of, and it was like this big old long list here. And then I would just put like the days, and then I would put, buy, film, edit, all of that stuff. And I just put like a short list, and then I decided to leave space for the dates. And then I have monthly projects here, which I need to go through and do some adjusting, and that's going to take me a whole day to kind of figure out and sit down and do it. I already know what I'm going to be doing for today. I actually didn't write it down, but that's really, I just really needed a space for that. And then again, I have dates over here because I really need to get into time sensitive stuff where I'm like saying, Sylvia, you have a due date. This is what it is. Please get on it. So I'm trying to work on that whole date situation a little bit more. I'm just cracking that whip. Yeah, and so I think that this is going to work out well. This used to be my Ellister method that I've had a ton of times. This is the one that is usually my Ellister method that I have on a weekly basis. I did leave a couple of spaces, like 4, actually. 4 is not a couple. 4 spaces here in case anything else came to mind throughout the month that I wanted to put on this list. So right now I'm pretty proud of this. Again, as a lazy planner, this took me some time, you guys, and I don't know that everybody wants to. I pulled out a ruler and I drew all this out. And because of the way the page was cut, this had an extra box, and it makes it look like it's so much more, but whatever, wabi sabi. These are Tombow markers throughout that I used, and it still smeared it a little bit, but I was like, again, wabi sabi, man. Wabi sabi. And I moved on. This red part here, I use these friction color markers, which I'm loving. Then over here I have a brain dump. Okay, first things first, after the first day, and I did 2 spreads, I did this one and this one, I lost the washi tape. It like grew legs and it ran away. And I was like, are you serious, Sylvia? And this is why I cannot do things like this, because I'm always like gonna lose things. And I thought I would use these again because I really liked how it turned out in my wide. And I was concerned, yeah, that I was gonna lose these. So I went ahead and made space here in the back. Well, I didn't really make space, but I put them on this Foxy Fix. Is this a Foxy Fix or a Chic Sparrow? Yeah, it's a Foxy Fix dashboard. I already used Thursday because that's the first of the month, so I set that one up. And it just allows me not to have to put these on the page because I'm like, oh, I'm not always going to carry this, or I'm not always going to be at my desk. I can just rip them off as I need them, so I can allot for as much space as I need every day. And I also took some of this washi and I put it here so that I could decorate some days, especially if I lose this for another day or two. I have some in reserve. And then I did the same here with my color scheme that I'm going with. So I have the, I think these are like 6mm, and then these are just like the standard sized. So speaking of losing things, let's talk about breaking things. All right, so I had to go to my room and get it because I forgot. So this lovely pen, the Katebtps that I was so excited to try, I already bent it. I bent the shit out of it. So I think what happened was it has this fine tip needle point. I think I put it in here and I just wasn't like paying attention or something. And so when I opened it, it was like bend AF. And I don't know if you can tell because I tried to straighten it out as much as I could. Yeah, but I bent it pretty bad. And I was like, of course you did. I just talked about how when I tried to pick a pen for the month, I either lose it or something happens. And so I kind of bent this really badly. I was concerned about pushing this back in there. And when I did, I don't know if I broke something on the inside here because every time I push it in, it gets a little bit bent. So heads up, if you thought, I want to try these out, just know that you have to be very gentle with these. So the Katebtps usually come, I don't have one near me right now, in a multi-pen like this. And so if they have like a tip like this, and their tips are kind of like that, at least they go back into the pen, whereas this one has a cap. And this is why I don't love caps. You know, I lose them, I break them, whatever. So I'm not a fan of cap pens, and just be really aware that, I don't even know if you can tell, that is like a thing that can happen. So I can still use it, I can still write with it, but I just don't want to have to deal with that. I just don't want to have to deal with being gentle and slowly putting it in and making sure that it goes in that little tiny hole at the bottom, which it's not really doing right now. So I don't know, man. Story of my life. So anyway, those are some of the hiccups I've found by trying to be more of a, you know, I don't know, less of a minimalist. And this is why I like to be minimalist, because the pens don't work, the washi gets lost, and shit happens. But, you know, I'm still pushing through and saying, you can do this. So, you know, if you need someone to cheer you on, you can do this. All right, together, we will lose things. Anyway, so where was I? Oh, brain dump. Over here, I tried something different. So I didn't think I could do without my weekly. I like my weekly. I like to be able to pull from here and other places like this and place it where it needs to be throughout the week as well as the day. And then I have here my meal planning, my waiting on, and next week, which is stuff you've all seen. It's just kind of in a different format, which I'm kind of enjoying. And this usually is like up here, and I was like, I'm gonna put it long ways, try to fit it all on one page, see how it goes. And the brain dump, I think, is going to take place of my Alistair method, because for this week anyway, I wanted to put all of March in here, and March started on a Thursday. So you can see here I did Thursday through Sunday, and then I put notes because I'd already like pre-colored this and everything when I realized, oh crap, I don't want to put, you know, Monday in here because I want to start it on the 1st, which is a Thursday. So I just put notes 1, notes 2, notes 3, and I don't really know exactly what notes I'm going to put there. And I also have a this week's area, which maybe I'll just put monthly projects here and then I'll pull from here onto each week or something. I don't know. This is new. So like I can rename this if it doesn't work out next week, or even, you know, rename it this week if I don't like it. Because I broke my pen, I was like, gosh, I guess I'm going back to the friction pen. And I'm just gonna have to hope that I don't write in my permanent journal with this, because again, it goes out into the zircon, out in the cold and in the heat, depending on the time of year. Again, I'm pulling this washi tape and I think it looks nicey nice, right? But again, it was a little bit more work. Plus the fact that, I don't know. Sometimes I look like I don't know. I feel like it looks almost too finished, and I kind of like that I just threw it on the page look, which this doesn't do. I haven't always been a fan of these banners. I'm not hating them, but you know, they might be a little too square and perfect for me. I might use the ones that are a little bit more rounded because they tend to flow a little more, if that makes sense. I don't know. Anyway, but I do like, I mean, look at this. I was even mixing the tombos and I'm just trying out things. I did an ombre effect over here and it is what it is. I'm just, you know, I'm going for it, man. Over here, I did an Alistair method for YouTube, and I don't know why I didn't put YouTube here. Maybe I should erase February and put YouTube. I don't know. But this is for YouTube, and these are all of the things that I do in order to make one video. And some of these things you can break down into more steps, but I just kind of know by saying edit clips, obviously, that I'm going to fast forward some of the clips, and then I'm going to have to put music under some of those clips because it's going to be, you know, quiet for like a minute or something like that. So there are other steps involved, but I just know by editing what that means. But I like this. I don't know that I want to, again, as a lazy planner, write this out every single week. You can see here again, I decided to go with the 1st. So there's only 4 days for this before I have to make it again. I did put the 28th because I am filming this on the 28th. I have a lot to do, so unfortunately, I think I'm going to miss the 1st again. I know there's a lot of people who will film these and then post them like in the middle of the month. So the fact that I'm only like a couple of days late into March putting this video up is perfectly fine. It's okay. It's just planning on YouTube. It's not that serious. Yeah, but I did put the 28th there because I've already done, or I am doing these things today. And then down here I have links. So this is the name of that lady on YouTube that I said had that really awesome stencil video. So if you want to check out the stencils I was talking about and you've seen them on my Instagram, she has a very excellent video. And she even like, you know, draws them out so she can show you what they look like and stuff. Over here I have notes. I might mix and match these in the future. I love washi. I like what it adds to the page, but it does take up, you know, some real estate there. And maybe I would prefer to just have this note space next time. Again, just trying these things out. Who knows? This might go ahead and change. Then over here is my dailies. And these are some things that I need to get done pronto. And I forgot to put them in here. And I was remembering right when I sat down. So I have them on these little like post-its, flaggies, so that I remember to put them in here. Again, I used the washi. This time I was trying to get fancy and I put some washi behind the washi. Bam! What? Plus I can put notes off to the day, not just like things I want to check off to, which makes me happy. This, you've seen before. You've seen a couple things like this before. So back in the day, I decided that not every topic needs its own insert. These Hobonichi very, very thin, which I love, notebooks where I would put information. And this one is one of like 3 that I have of my microfiction and short fiction stories. And so it's all filled up, and I'm going to go ahead and take this. And I know this is not my writing notebook, but because these are very short microfiction and very short stories, I can work on them while I'm laying in bed and stuff. And you know, while I'm on the go. So I'm going to take them, transfer them in here. So it'll probably be like what I've already written here and then rewrite them and get them ready for publication on this side. And then this notebook, of course, is supposed to be, I think, my health journal. I'm pretty sure that's what I'm going to do, which today I'm going to sit down and figure out my life. So if I want to lose 5 pounds or 10 pounds by the end of March, yeah, right, 10 pounds, 5 pounds. Let's just not get crazy. Keep it realistic, Sylvia. I will go ahead and write that out and that goal. So this will be, you know, more private. I'm also going to be putting on these pages like YouTubers that I find that are really great about health gurus and stuff like that. I found some really amazing people who are overweight, that are still overweight, but they've lost a significant amount of weight, and they show you as a bigger person who has back problems or even knee problems or even an older person, different exercises that you can do. They're like, you know, like push-ups, but in a different way that's not going to be so hard on your body, which is amazing. And so there's a lot of food channels out there, some vegan channels where I'm not vegan, but I try to eat, I'd say about 85 to 90% of the time plant-based. Just working on it, man. I mean, it's March, we're almost to summer, I only have a few months till summertime, and it would be nice to start off the summer right, already a little bit leaner than I am now. And again, until Cocoa Daisy comes in, I'm not sure if I'm going to move everything in here or what. But I did also want to show you that this fits really nicely in the B6 Slim. So if you are looking to get some new stencils, because these are pretty awesome, and she does mention some of the downsides to these, which I also fully agree with, so definitely check out that video. I just wanted to let you know that it almost takes up the whole space of a Slim. Let me show you. And a B6 as far as the height is concerned. It's almost perfect for the B6 Slim. So anything smaller than that, they're not really going to fit in your planner or your traveler's notebook without sticking out, unless you might. I mean, if you don't mind that, no worries. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope that this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.